Welcome back. Another edition of Down and Back with CornDoug here. We have got a jam-packed show this week. We've got the Canada Conference Tournament. We've got the KW Regional Tournament results to go. That was a great day. A lot of new players coming out. Big turnout for the Canada Conference. Weather was wasn't good, so a lot of the people from out of town had to leave. But it was still a great day. A lot of new players showing up, which was great to see. We've got our regular league results to talk about, and then also guy I've been wanting on the show here for a while. We have Trey Ryder coming on to talk about all things ACL, and maybe we may see if he has a tip or two on who's going to take it coming up the end of the month in Fort Lauderdale. But we'll get to our conference results from the weekend here. We had advanced doubles, competitive doubles. We had an intermediate doubles tournament. Great turnout for all of them. Advanced doubles, I think everyone knew that this was going to happen. Jeff Shantz, Scott Sullivan taking it as they did with all three conference tournaments last year. Finishing second, Steve Pohl with a new partner this week. He had Sean Stephen out of the Hamilton area that Steve wasn't sure if he was going to be able to play, so Jamie had found another partner, and so Steve ended up with Sean Stephen, and they came in second. Competitive doubles, guy who's been throwing lights out in our league, in the KW League, Dave Dobbin, Phil Tavares, they came in first in the competitive. Second was Adam Hubbard out of Peterborough. He was partnered up with Annette Burgess, who was another great thrower out of KW. She hasn't been able to go out a lot, but when she comes out, she really shows up, and she's getting a lot better each time. So Adam Hubbard, Annette Burgess finishing second. Intermediate doubles, George Vargas and Joe Oliveira. Joe Oliveira's first tournament in any kind of cornhole, and finishes first in the intermediate. Second, another team that I was actually met them at the door when they first came in. They were out of St. Catharines, and they were just coming to see what it was about. They had no idea what division to go into. Ed Buckin, Mike Quinn finishing second in the intermediate. It was just great to see. They were just kind of like, wow, they didn't know that cornhole was actually big at all, but they finishing second in the intermediate doubles was great to see for them. We went to advanced singles. Advanced singles, we're going to talk about advanced doubles the same way. Jeff Shantz takes first, and you're going to probably guess Scott Sullivan takes second in that tournament. Just great throwing by both of them. Competitive singles, Adam Hubbard out of Peterborough, he took first. Matt Chason, who's a great thrower. We hadn't seen him since the Argo tournament in July, but he comes back out, finishing second in the competitive singles. We had intermediate singles. Dan Ruby out of Mitchell. He finished first. And second place, again, like I said, they just showed up this on Saturday. Ed Buckin from the St. Catharines area. He was just throwing great. All of those conference finals will be coming up on the KW Cornhole website and on YouTube. We've got about 11 hours of video to edit, and we'll be showing all of those. All of those finals will come out, and you'll be able to watch them. Our regional tournament, advanced doubles. We had a little bit of an issue here. People not knowing where they were going, as we had two Kevin Smiths, one out of Buffalo, and then Kevin Smith out of Stratford. Everyone knows Kevin Smith out of Stratford because he just wins every week. So the advanced doubles, Kevin Smith and ACL Pro Bobby Sperry was up. They finished first in the advanced division. Finishing second was Steve Pohl and Jeff Shantz. Competitive doubles, Joe Oliveira and George Vargas finishing first in that tournament. Kenny Smith, they finished first. Finishing second was Kenny Smith out of Buffalo. He came up with his brother Kevin and Bobby. So Kenny finishes second with his partner Harley Darling out of Port Perry, Ontario. Drove a couple of hours, and he didn't have a partner. He just showed up hoping to get with someone. He finishes second in the competitive. He's a guy that throws really good when he does make it out to our tournaments. We had co-ed doubles for the first time, and Dean Lang, Annette Burgess took first in that there, and Steve and Kylie Pohl finishing second. Kylie was happy with Steve. He didn't have to go home with his bags in a suitcase to a different place. she allowed him to come home because they finished second. Advanced singles, Bobby Sperry took down Jamie Cowan in the advanced singles final. So Bobby Sperry finishing first, Jamie Cowan finishing second. Competitive singles, Kevin Smith out of Stratford. We knew he was going to win something. He ended up winning the competitive singles, defeating David Dobbin. We then finished up with an open blind draw. Kevin Smith out of Buffalo. He finished first with George Vargas. Finishing second was somehow these two guys got paired up. I'm not sure how, but Jeff Shantz, Jamie Cowan, finishing second in the open blind draw. So that was our full day. 11 hours of cornhole. It was just exhausting day, but you'll see from the video, it was just a great day. A lot of good throwing. It was great to see, and a lot of people wanting to come back, looking for that next regional, wanting to come out. So we great, like I said, great day, and we look to see a lot of the people back for the next Canada Conference tournament. We're looking, it may be somewhere in the eastern part of Ontario. This next one, you'll see, but all in all, great day. Now, the guy that I've been waiting for here, Trey Ryder, ACL Media Director, joining us now. Trey, welcome to the Down and Back with CornDoug.
Thanks, Doug. I appreciate you having me on.
Yeah, we, I first met you, like almost every person I've had on here, down in Cherokee in 2000 and I guess 18, and it was kind of our first experience down there. And like I've said to all the other guys, yourself and Stacy, just kind of open your arms for us down there, because we were, just the kids from the country in the bright lights in the big city. Just what are we doing here?
Yeah, 2018. It seems like so long ago, but it was really cool to have you all down there and competing. The first time we really had some international players competing at the ACL, and like I said, it's amazing how far we come. We had a few more Canadian players this year, and then the Australian team that came this year as well, or I should say last year now, at the 2019 World Championships. It just goes to show you the growth that's happening, and obviously with this show, this podcast, and all the other things that you guys are doing, all those results you're talking through, it's obvious that it's growing really, really big, and you guys have been such an integral part of that.
Yeah, like we've got a league happening in Newfoundland and Labrador to the east coast of Canada here, starting up in a couple of weeks. I've been talking to Sean, who's running that league, and he's ready. He's almost ready to have like a big ACL tournament there. He just wants to get everything going. And I've talked with Matt, and he's got some interest from some other provinces as well. So it's just, we're totally grassroots here. So we're digging from the bottom up, and it's starting to come.
And that's what it takes. We talk about the ACL all the time being really a grassroots league. I think at its core, when we kind of brought the idea of these local events many years ago, people really, really kind of were a little bit puzzled by the structure that we had, but we really believe that if you could get people playing at their local bars, if you could get people playing just, at a weekly tournament, a blind draw, whatever, a league like you guys run, it just starts that growth. And then from there, getting them into regionals and conference events, that's where the growth really happens. And before you know it, they're itching to get at some of these world championships and national events.
I know, just like from us talking, I think, fingers crossed, we may have a full complement of 16 going down to Rock Hill, South Carolina in August, which would be great, because I think we may have about 12 coming to Cleveland for the national down there. Looking forward to that one.
That's fantastic. I love hearing it. I love hearing it.
So a lot of people have been, because we have had so many new people and new leagues come into here. They're asking what's in store for the ACL this year. I don't know if you can divulge anything that, or if there's still some secret stuff coming up.
Yeah, so we're really, really excited for this upcoming season. I think that the way I'm kind of describing it to a lot of people is, we had an explosion of growth last year from new players, and this is the first year that all of those new players are getting an opportunity to really compete now. And I think the talent level is going to be bigger and better than ever. And I can't wait to see how it shapes out. As far as our scheduling goes, we'll kick off at the kickoff battle, our first ACL National of the year. That'll be at the end of this month, January 31st through February 2nd. That'll be in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, at the Broward County Convention Center. Then we'll go up to Cleveland, like you said, March 13th through the 15th. We'll be there for our Cornhole Mania. So kind of a Midwestern, Mid-East location there. March 13th through the 15th. That'll be at the Huntington Convention Center right there in Cleveland. And then we're just announcing it really today and tomorrow. So you get the first inside scoop for our third National of the Year, our Bag Brawl. We will be at the Salt Lake City Convention Center out in Utah. That will be the first weekend in May 1st through the 3rd. So you get some inside scoop there before everybody else. So Salt Lake City will be out there in the beginning of May for our Bag Brawl. Then we'll wrap up our national season with our Pro Invitational and our fourth National of the Year, the ACL Final Chase. That will be at the Valley. That'll be Valley Forge Sports will be putting that on at the Philadelphia Expo Center. Again, that's July 4th weekend, so that's going to be a lot of fun there. And then, of course, we will wrap up our season at our 2020 World Championships. That'll be August 4th through the 9th. That'll be the Rock Hill Sports and Event Center, a brand new facility. It's going to be it's not even completely done construction yet. It'll be done here over the next month and a half. A state-of-the-art facility. It's got room for a ton of space for all of our players throughout the week, and it even has a basketball court for a feature court that's got bleachers surrounding it, so we can really make that final broadcast ESPN court look really, really cool. It's going to be an incredible event. So a lot of things brewing this year. We're working hard on a lot of different sponsorship opportunities revolved both around our pro division and our college division, because really once Johnsonville's been an incredible sponsor for us. They're going to continue to be an incredible sponsor for us, and getting another big sponsor on board is really what's going to take us to that next level. And we're really close to really blowing the top off of this ACL season coming up here. So I'm really excited, and we got some really good surprises even leading up to this first ACL National, the kickoff battle. Some really exciting things going to be brewing for that one.
Well, now speaking of the kickoff battle, you've really had some seeing online just some great interest in this year. It seems like you almost had to open it up again.
Yeah, we've completely sold out for our singles and doubles, the different skill levels. We sold out at the kickoff battle. And honestly, with it being near the Super Bowl weekend, we knew travel prices would be the highest. So we honestly expect the kickoff battle, we expected it to be our lowest attended event, and it sold out. So what I've been telling people is as soon as we open registration for these other nationals, do not wait. Like I said, we had such a big growth last year. There's so many people got involved at the local level, playing in leagues like that you run and playing at the conference level, that they feel that this year they're ready to make that step and play at the national level. And we're so excited for that. So we expect to sell out all of our nationals this year. And who knows, maybe in 2021, we need to think of some creative ways to get more and more people involved, because the demand to compete is so much right now.
Yeah, like I know, like they simulcast last year at the ACL finals for Jamie and Scott's match on TSN here, and we had so much after that. Just people coming in and saying, "We want to play, we want to do this." It was just that growth there. Just it's all you need is just the eyes to see you playing, and that it's not just a backyard game.
Yeah, and you're right. Eyes on it is what counts. And a big driver for us this year, and a big goal for us is to expand our digital network this year as well. Obviously we want to put as much as we can on television here in the States, but at the same time, having a platform that can reach anybody across the world and do it the right way on our digital network and really experiment with some cool things and be able to integrate some new camera angles and integrate some new styles of broadcast and new content and build out that digital network is really going to be a big another stepping stone for us as far as growth.
Yeah. So now kind of going back to the kickoff battle, who are some of the people that I know that a lot of our newer players have been watching this year, and they want to be watching when you do your whether it's Facebook Live or on the ACL website. Who should they be looking for when they tune in to check you out?
Yeah, it is the talent this year is just incredibly deep, and part of me has to look to the past to kind of see who's going to be good in the future, but I'm also interested in how some new faces are going to compete. Some of the most hyped players and teams coming into this season, you can't look much farther than Matt Sorrells and Noah Wooten. Matthew Sorrells, playing with Emery Parker last season, became a world champion in doubles. Has switched partners this year for Noah Wooten. Noah, obviously a strong singles player. He finished in the top 5 in singles last year in advanced singles. Now the two of them are going to have a lot of pressure, I think, on them, a lot of pressure to succeed. They're going to be favored in every game that they play this year, which means they're going to have a target on their back every game that they play. So I'm interested to see if they're able to wear that badge of or wear that target as a badge and kind of really go in confidently and win some games. Another player that I think is playing really at the top of his game and is arguably one of the best players in the world right now is Ryan Smith out of Virginia. I think Ryan Smith, I looked through his record this year so far. I think he's 31-4 in singles matches. And if you look at who he's playing against on a weekly and a monthly basis, that makes that statistic all that much more impressive. Playing in the Atlantic Conference, that is just so tough to win in. It's been the best conference over these past 2 seasons. And so I think Ryan Smith is doing really well. You can't forget about Cody Henderson and Adam Hissner as well. Those two have always made it near the top. They'll be a strong team to watch out for. And really this season, like you are seeing in Canada, an explosion of growth. We've seen that over the past year on our West Coast. So there are some teams, someone that I just recently featured on my ACL Throwdown, Tyler Parent playing with Brevin Valdivia. I really think they have an opportunity to really be a West Coast team that comes in and surprises some people and takes some big victories. As far as on the women's side, I really think Cheyenne Renner and Sam Finley are two of the best players in the world, regardless of gender. So I think they're going to be a really, really tough team to beat when it comes to women's doubles, and even in singles and even in pro singles and pro doubles. I think the two of them are going to be a force to be reckoned with. I really think Cheyenne Renner is a young superstar, and she's got a lot of things going for her. So there are countless people I could keep rambling on with. I think the Midwest has a lot of big growth, a lot of young players. I think the Southwest, with what Josh Gross and AJ Sims started with last year, winning an advanced doubles world title and kind of carrying that torch for the Southwest and the state of Texas. I think they're going to have so much momentum coming into that first event of the year, and it's going to be an absolute throwdown on the boards this year. So many good games, so many games good to watch, to experience, and to be honest, I just can't wait.
Yeah, like we've had on Mike Ferreira from the I'm not sure if it's in North Atlantic, he's out of the Boston area, and then Sato Soto, Timothy Pitcher, he's been on. He's another guy I watch myself. And but yeah, there's just so many great players. And you talk about Ryan Smith. I had a chance to play against Ryan Smith. It didn't take long, but he was a great player, and even a greater guy just talking with him.
Yeah, Ryan's an incredible person. And part of what he learned was from Timothy Pitcher. I mean, Timothy Pitcher may be a better coach than a player. I mean, he's that good of a coach and that good of a mentor. That's not a knock on his playing ability whatsoever. But people forget that Ryan Smith started with Timothy Pitcher. They were 3 points away, held an 18-0 lead on Frank Maudlin and Jordan Langworthy back at the 2018 final chase. And they fought all the way back through, went up 18-0, and just gave up a 21-18 loss, which was a tough loss for Timothy and Ryan. But yeah, so that Atlantic Conference, you just pick your poison. You just pick anybody you want out of that Atlantic. You could almost say the same thing for the Southeast. The Northeast, I put in a very similar boat to the Southwest and the Midwest, like you said, Mike Ferreira. All of those conferences, I think, are just ready. They just feel ready to make a big jump. They want to be considered with the Atlantics, the Southeasts, the Mid-East conferences. They want to be in that conversation. And so it's really going to be a test of who can have the best focus and who can kind of put their conference on the back.
Mm-hmm. So I guess I had kind of put some questions out to some of our newer players earlier today, and a couple of them got back to me, a couple of them didn't, but they're just, what advice would you be giving to some newer ACL players just starting out?
Yeah, first thing you absolutely got to do is you got to get plugged into a local league. You got to get playing, and I know a lot of players are starting to do that now. The second thing you got to do is you got to practice. So practice is a really hard thing for a lot of people to grasp, but I think there's a few different elements to practicing. I think throwing on a board by yourself is actually more valuable than people think, and what that's going to do is establish your rhythm. And rhythm is something that is important in the game of cornhole. You need to learn your technique. Throwing a flat bag with spin is never going to be a bad thing. So teaching yourself in practice how to master that technique. Yes, the game has moved towards slick bags. Yes, they're a little bit more favorable than they were previously in previous years. But one thing that I always preach to people is if you can throw a hard spinning bag with a good arc straight up the board without going off the back, you're going to be at an advantage in comparison to all the rest of the players. Look at some top players. Look at Ryan Windsor. Look at Derek King. Look at Ryan Smith. Look at Cody Henderson. They all throw, although their form is different, when the bag releases their hand, it's just like a quarterback. They all look the same. They're all hard spinning, and they go straight. They go straight up the board. And what that enables them to do is push bags and go around bags and manipulate bags in a way, because you may be able to just throw bag for bag at the intermediate level and even into the competitive level, but when you're trying to make that next step, I really think having a hard flat bag is really what is key. So practice your long streaks. Try to get 30 bags in a row, because there's an element of focus that comes with trying to throw 30 bags in the hole in a row. Mm-hmm. And once you can do that, only then can you translate that over into a game situation. But throwing on a board by yourself is just one part of practice. Then comes the situational play. You need to play games. You need, whether it's cash games and you want to grab someone and throw for $100, there's an element of pressure that you're not going to be able to simulate on a board by yourself, that you're only going to be able to do if you're playing against someone. So, and there has to be something at the line, whether or not you're a gambler or not. I'm not saying you need to gamble. What I'm saying is there needs to be an element of pressure, and being able to get used to pressure situations and practicing that on a regular basis. If you combine that with a frequent practice routine by yourself on a board, you work on those two things. I really think you can master your craft.
Yeah. So the one other question I did have was from It was from a kid, Jack Fisher, who throws out of Dundas. He's just started. I'm going to call him our Luke Johnson. He's been one tournament, one win. He's a 60-year-old kid that's just he's having fun playing. His question was just to you was, better to throw a first blocker or just put it in the hole first.
You got to know your opponent. You got to know who you're playing, and it really depends. I mean, if you're playing against you just got to read who it is. Cody Henderson blocks a lot of people because he knows what his strengths are and he knows what his opponent's weaknesses are. But you got to know what you're good at. I can't tell you to throw a first bag block if you're not good at blocking, because blocking is difficult. Blocking is the most taken for granted shot in cornhole because it is so hard to do it right. And so many people think it's easy, and it's not. To be able to throw a perfect block not only requires directional aim, but depth as well. It's the only shot in cornhole besides an airmail that requires that depth to be able to throw it. Oh, if I throw it here, but if I throw it 3 inches too long, it's off. Okay, so in theory, a true block can be almost as hard as an airmail. So if you're going to throw the block, make sure you know how to do it and make sure you practiced it, because it's not just something I'm just going to take a little bit off because it throws off your mechanics. So first bag block, first bag in the hole, it really depends on who you're playing. You got to know what your strengths are against their weaknesses. There's no point in putting a block up that the person you're playing against is a better airmailer than you are.
Yeah, and that's what I found out being down in Cherokee. We were throwing with the regular people around here, but then I threw what I thought was a perfect block one of my first games, and then the person just airmailed over top of me 4 times. I was like, okay, what do I do now? I'm not we're not in Kansas anymore. But then and when you talk about knowing your opponent, my regular partner Corey and I, he doesn't like playing against me because I know how to play him because we've played so much, right? And I know how to play him, what to do to beat him. It doesn't happen often, but just I know how to mess with what he wants to do with his bag.
Yeah, and knowing your opponent, knowing your partner, if you're in doubles, is an absolute key to success. And even knowing them on a mental level. If you got to know your pace as well. If you're a rhythmic player, you got to know that sometimes you're going to play against people that are not rhythmic players, and they're going to slow you down. So knowing how your opponent competes mentally is just as important as knowing their shots.
Yeah. So I want to thank you for doing this here today. I want to have you back on the show again. So we've got some other cool ideas to go with the show. But your insight, I know we're going to probably maybe even meet up again if we can before Cleveland to talk about what's the players going into that one after being in Fort Lauderdale to go in there.
Yeah, we'll make it a date. We'll do it before every national. We'll preview every national going into it. How's that sound?
Oh, that sounds perfect. And then and hopefully we'll see you down in Cleveland. I've got a few things that kind of come up, so I'm hoping to be there. If not, we'll be in Rochdale for sure.
Love it. Love it, love it, love it. I'll see you there.
Okay. Thanks a lot for doing this.
Thanks, Doug.
ACL Media Director, Trey Ryder. Sorry I had a little bit of camera issues there during the talk, but just great to talk with him. He knows so much, even with his father, Eric. Great people, great guys to talk to. And yeah, so it's watch for him on the ACL Digital Network, his Facebook, the ACL Facebook page for them coming up from Fort Lauderdale, just their live feed. You'll hear Trey doing the commentary, and yeah, it's just he's just, you can tell he's just a great guy and knows a lot about the game. Now we as I said, we flipped the script a bit. Our results from KW. Results from KW. The usual back on top. Jamie Cowan finishing first this week. Adam Duncan was second. Craig Raymond finishing third. Then we had a couple guys big lumped in there. Mark Larcher, Matt Plyle, Scott Sullivan all finishing tied for fourth. was just a great night. A lot of throwers out again. It was great to see. We had a lot of new faces coming up, and which is again great to see. So that was our results. Standings after week 2. Jamie Cowan stays on top. Mark Larcher in second. Adam Duncan in third. Scott Sullivan moves up to 4th. And then Terry McDougall. Like I said, he's just a guy. He finished. I believe he finished 3rd in one of the tournaments on the weekend too. Full rundown on those results from the conference and the regional tournament on the KW Cornhole Facebook page and on kwcornhole.com. You can see all the rundown of everybody and the winning pictures and everything. But yeah, Terry McDougall is a guy that's just, even playing that night, he beat me, and I say, you keep beating me like that, and I'm going to stop talking nice here. But Terry he's a great guy, great thrower, and he's going to be someone who's going to be a force to be reckoned with in the future here once he really starts playing. He's only been playing 6 or 8 weeks now, and it's showing. So it's a great showing by Terry. Moving on then, Guelph. Where did you guys all come from? 17 players in Guelph on Tuesday night. It was a great showing. They ended up playing doubles cornhole for the first time in Guelph. Jamie Cowan, Justin Clark finishing first. Dean Lang and Angela. Sorry, Angela, I do not know your last name. You're a new player coming out, which was great to see, finishing second. Jerry Halfpenny had another new partner, Lori. So nice to see 2 new players in there with some established players and getting in second and third spots respectively there. Stratford, what can I say? I watched this game unfold last night. The final game, having come up through the loser bracket, Kevin Smith does it again in Stratford. I think that Stratford Papers is just every Thursday morning is just Kevin Smith does it again. Him and partner Dave finished first. They beat Paul and Linda. Paul Marshall, I keep talking to him. He's like, he doesn't know what to do. He's got to try and find some way to knock Kevin off that pedestal. But yeah, Paul and Linda finishing second. Third place, Bev Hunter and Roseanne. Bev is a great thrower at Stratford. Unfortunately, this is the last week for Stratford. They're going to take a break. Things will be moving over to Mitchell. Mitchell on Thursday nights. But yeah, this is the last week in Stratford for a little bit. They've got a lot of great throwers, just taking a break though. Stratford Legion has a couple things coming up, so we're going to move everything over to the Mitchell Legion on Thursday nights. But yeah, calling someone somewhere to come and take Kevin Smith off that pedestal, and because he's just lights out on those Wednesday nights. Peterborough last week, we knew we did not have any of the results. So here is the results. John Parsons for you, because I said on Facebook I was going to do it for you. Adam was stuck in Europe. Wife Nicole did a great job of running things for Adam while he was gone over in Europe for a couple weeks. Gave her some fun ribbing on the weekend when I seen her. Both her and Adam were down at the conference tournament. So Peterborough results from 2 weeks ago. John Parsons, Mike Taylor finishing first. Second, Dave Hubbard and Jake D. Third was Mark Cullicutt and Mike Broccoli. So that was 2 weeks ago. We'll now then go back to Wednesday night. Wednesday night here. Adam, he did it on the weekend, and he just kept that hot hand going going Wednesday night there. So Adam Hubbard, Blake Parnell finishing first. Second place, Mike Ochar and Rip Robertson. Third place, Mark Cullicutt on the board again for second week in a row, and Kelly Parsons finishing third. So that does it for our leagues this week. A lot of throwing, a lot of great throwing. Just, impressed after seeing the people throwing at our tournaments. Is just everything is just getting better, and it's great to see that we're getting pumped up. And like I said with Trey, we've got some other provinces that are chomping at the bit to come in and play cornhole with us, and it's just great to see, and really looking forward to playing some more with some of the other people. Cleveland, as we've talked with Trey on that, Cleveland, March 13th to the 15th, the Cornhole Mania in Cleveland. And then, as we had Sato Soto on the show last week, if you are in Cleveland the night before, Thursday, March 12th, get in touch with Sato Soto on Facebook. He's got the cancer fundraiser that he's running on the Thursday night before the Cornhole Mania starts. Get in touch with him, find out where you need to be and what you need to do to get into that tournament, just for a great cause. And yeah, so for March, if you're still from this area looking to go, as you heard from Trey, we need to get in early and get signed up for that early. So contact Matt Plyle or KW Cornhole, and as we have a group going down, Matt's already got a bunch of hotels. We just need to fill those and to get them going. Now, if you're in the KW area this weekend, Saturday night, so you got KW, Rogers and Guelph, Rogers and Stratford will be showing the Giovanni and Me show on Saturday, January 18th, 5 p.m. Or if you're not in the area, probably after around 6 o'clock, maybe they'll have it on the RogersTV.com. You can watch it on there. There's a link to their YouTube page, and they'll have it up there. And it was a great night. We had him out a couple weeks ago. We shot some film. Won't try and give it away, but he had the CornDoug on there, and we were talking a bit. He talked to some of the other players, had a little game. We wanted him to play in the league, but he was just not ready to play in the league. But yeah, we had a lot of great fun with him, and look for it. Rogers TV. I know Cable 20 in the Kitchener area. I'm not sure in Guelph or Stratford. Or you can look online, RogersTV.com, for that fun show. It truly was a lot of fun. So now, I kind of mentioned this a bit on Wednesday on the Down and Back with CornDoug Facebook page. We are going to have a 100 subscriber contest. We are now just over the 50 subscriber mark. We want to get to more. We want to get to 100. So what we're going to do is, we get to 100. We'll do another little video for the 100 subscriber page, and what will happen is you can watch that, make a comment on that video. Once we get to the 100 subscribers, we'll be doing a contest for 4 octane bags of your choice. So you can go and get whatever you want on it, or you can do the Down and Back with CornDoug cornhole bags. Okay, these are a set of Apex bags. They were a great bag. I've only had to be able to throw them a couple times, but you can get your own set of octane cornhole bags right when we become 100. Once we get the 100 subscribers, we'll get some names in there, put them all in a draw, and someone will be walking away with 4 octane bags. And then I'll say it now. Once we'll get to 100. But then we'll be looking to get to 200. We'll do a set of 8 bags, but just each time we get 100 more subscribers, we'll do a set of bags, and yeah, just people here, because just gotta spread the word, because we're reaching out here. We're not just a KW league anymore. We're branching out. We want to go nationwide, all of Canada, WCO Canada, get that going, and have some fun. Maybe getting some, like I said with Trey, we want to have some more people going down to the finals to be able to really compete in some of those tournaments. Speaking of leagues, I know I've already talked about this. I'll talk about it again. Wednesday, January 22nd, Royal Canadian Legion, Pleasantville, just up from Kitty Vidi Lake. Remember, I said that. Been talking to Sean down there, and he is just beyond pumped to get this going. He, as you've seen on the Facebook page, he's got the boards ready to go. He's got the bags ready to go. He's pumped, and it's I think he's going to have a great turnout that first night, and it'll be great to see great to see him succeed down there. Hopefully, maybe we'll have a big tournament down there, and everyone can go down and just have a great time in Newfoundland, because I know from a fact for myself, been down there, and you can have a little bit of fun down there. So just if you're anyone in the St. John's area, let them know they can go playing cornhole at the Royal Canadian Legion, Pleasantville, starting January 22nd. And then, like I said yesterday on the Facebook page, what's better than one league starting up next week? Let's go. Let's do two. Dundas Valley Cornhole Club. It's going to start up January 23rd, Dundas Air Force Base. Let's get those boys flying bags in the Air Force Club. Okay, go down there. I think they should have a good turnout. We had a really good turnout, about 40 players for their first tournament. So let's see. Let's get a really good turnout for their first league night and keep it going in that area, because who knows, we might bring another tournament back down there, a bigger tournament, and just have some fun playing with the guys down in Dundas, because Pete was down here on the weekend. I know Russ Fisher was there. You're going to see, as I mentioned before, our Luke Johnson that we're going to try and groom here, Jack Fisher. You may see him down there on league night there, January 23rd. But yeah, there's just some great throwers in that area, and it's there's going to be some really good things out of that Dundas Cornhole Club in the near future, because I can almost say near future, because they were really showing it this past weekend. Comes to another thing. Really, it's going to be coming up a couple weeks here, January 29th. We're going to do a show on the 27th, I believe. It's going to come out. We're going to sit and talk. Bell Let's Talk Day here in Canada. For anyone in Canada, they know. People in the States, if you're watching, you can still participate. It's just, hashtag Bell Let's Talk on January 29th. 5 cents of each tweet or each on social media, just hashtag Bell Let's Talk, goes towards mental health awareness, getting people some help. With the kids' suicide prevention line, it goes to help a lot of great causes. We're going to have a couple of guests on. We'll be having an ACL pro on to talk about stuff that he's dealt with. Just because they're a pro doesn't mean they haven't dealt with anything, and just we'll get into some of the away from cornhole, just the stuff you have from whether you're growing up and dealing with some stuff, or even just playing cornhole. We get to that mental side of cornhole, because we've all been there. Actually, I'm kind of there now. It's when you start throwing off, you get that mental game of, I've got to change something, I got to do something. You start getting down on yourself. But yeah, look for that show coming up January 27th. It's going to be our Bell Let's Talk show, and it's going to be a really good show, and really hope everyone gets involved, and just sends out that hashtag Bell Let's Talk. January 29th only, so it's on January 29th. Twitter, let's get Twitter filled with people from cornhole doing Bell Let's Talk, the hashtag Bell Let's Talk, and help support some people who really, really need it. And with that, we'll go back to the Down and Back with CornDoug merchandise. I guess I can take a page out of. You may have seen me on my cousin's YouTube show, Connects with Guitars. I don't play an instrument, but I was on there trying to talk cornhole to musicians. Didn't go over too well with some of them, I don't think, but still. Pick up your Down and Back with CornDoug merchandise. I'll say help CornDoug get to one of the national finals in the States, whether it be Cleveland or Rock Hill, South Carolina. If you want to see me doing shows live from any of those tournaments, pick up some merchandise, help me get there, and just we want to just have some fun with this here. Show, represent the Down and Back of CornDoug logo at your tournament, and just help us out, spread the word about talking cornhole, because we all know it's a great game, and let's get that out there to more people, especially here in Canada. It's not just a backyard game. it's a fun game that you can get pretty competitive with, and yeah, so it's we all know it's a great game. Let's just keep spreading the word. So with that, that's it for this week. We had a packed show. I know I kind of rushed through some stuff here, but it was great to see some great players, some great people coming up. Bobby Speary coming up from the States, Kevin and Kenny Smith coming up there, two great throwers as well. Look for KW Cornhole. We've got some stuff coming up with some CFL teams. I believe we're kind of in the works with that. We can't just discuss it right now. We've got coming up in May another fundraiser in May, another important one. We've got a cystic fibrosis cornhole fundraiser coming up here in the KW area. We'll have more. We're still 4 months away from that, but we'll have more info on that coming up. Look for it. February 15th, our next KW Cornhole Regional tournament. We'll be back at the Edelweiss in Kitchener for that one, which we're hoping for another great turnout. I know the weather really kind of put a damper on some things there last weekend. We're hoping to see Cole, Kimberly, Vivian from the Barrie area come down. They weren't able to make it this week. We really missed them throwing because Cole is just a great thrower. And yeah, so we've got a couple of other people from out of town coming. Hopefully get to see them and have some fun throwing some bags. So check out the CornDoug merchandise shop, the teespring.com/stores/CornDoug shop. Check it out. We've got hoodies, we've got t-shirts, we've got tank tops, long sleeve shirts. Check it out. See anything you like. Don't be afraid to throw a few dollars down. Help CornDoug get to one of the nationals. I guess we can start a hashtag on that there. But help CornDoug get to nationals. But thanks a lot for everyone just watching again this week. Thanks to Trey Ryder coming on and talking some ACL with us, talking about the kickoff battle coming up Fort Lauderdale. Remember, check the ACL Facebook group for that there. And yeah, keep throwing bags, keep having fun. Get to the KW Cornhole Facebook page, to their website, kwcornhole.com. Get to octanecornhole.com. Get your bags, get your t-shirts, get your Octane Cornhole t-shirts. Have some fun. Get those bags. So yeah, so keep throwing those bags, keep having fun, playing cornhole. We will see you here next week on the Down and Back with CornDoug, presented by Octane Cornhole.